Good morning. Now, I'd like to start with Ejike Okpa. Congressman Scott Perry's claims are quite serious, and he made this, it's caused a lot of ripples around the world, and he made these allegations without providing any sort of evidence. What do you make of this?
Well, thank you for having me, and you know, this has been a hot topic. You know, that since the story broke, I have appeared on one other program and you know, when they mentioned the Boko Haram, I said that President Tinubu should go back to 1999 and do a presidential, you know, review of what USAID has done, because, you know, the reputation of Nigeria is on the line by mentioning Boko Haram. If there was any money received to that effect, who received it, and what was the purpose for receiving such money? And then, you know, Akpabio, you know, since, you know, he was a congressman that made that comment, and he's the president of the Nigerian Senate, he should write him a letter. You know, write him a letter, said, you know, this is of concern to us, and we would like to do a joint, you know, investigation and then to verify, you know, the source of this, instead of, you know, Akpabio has always been a lousy speaker. You know, he doesn't, when he talks like he's talking to his village people in Akwa Ibom. You know, I listened to what he was saying earlier. This is not to dig him, but the guy doesn't have any standing. But, you know, that beside the point. The point here is Nigeria, you know, Boko Haram is associated with Nigeria. That should be concern from the leadership, both from the legislative side and the executive side, to say, oh, let's get to the bottom of this and see, you know, what we need to do to address it. If not, it's just going to linger and become one of those things that you sweep it under the rug, it still damages your reputation.
All right, let's now bring in Mr. Amachree into the conversation. But before we do, I think part of the angles would be many who would ask if Nigeria's intelligence potentially picked this up, but it was not pursued. But let's take a look at this video.
They didn't want any oversight function. They didn't want us to know where they were going to. We had issues with that, because now they will go into the enclave of the terrorists and go and treat them. You are treating the same people that is attacking the communities. You tell them, no, that you are neutral. How neutral can you be? We've had situations where allegations of arms, them conveying arms to us just to make sure that the war continues. We've had situations where they will tell you they are taking food to communities. Halfway, they will tell you the trailer has broken down. By next morning, the trailer is empty. And that vehicle that is broken down, the driver will just go and drive it and take it back. So what had happened? You have funded those guys. You are taking care of them equally. We've had several situations like that. So we said, no, it can't continue like that. And that's why we insisted with the state government that, look, the state government must know what's going on. So if any NGO comes, it must be registered. We must monitor what's going on. We've had situations where NGOs will come in with unidentified individuals entering communities. You don't even know what they're doing. They don't have NGO ID cards. They are not part of the government. Who is taking them to? What are they going there for? And so by the time we start monitoring what they were doing, we noticed things started getting better. So which means something is going on somewhere. Because they come from all over the world and you don't know who is who. So that's why for every country, please regulate what the NGOs are doing, monitor what they're doing. Most times you hear them telling you that they spent $10 million.
So from that clip, I mean, a number of inferences can be made. Maybe the potential that this isn't the first time we're hearing about this, and that maybe our intelligence had maybe picked up on this, but, you know, but it wasn't pursued. But again, the light was shown on NGOs and the work that NGOs do. And I'd like to ask Mr. Amachree, I mean, you did serve with the DSS, to ask if, you know, what the procedure was like when you were in office, or when you know, in your time with the DSS, if they were strict with the NGOs, and if all of this comes as a shock or a surprise to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. You see, this NGO thing has been one of concern for a very long time, because this intelligence community are very, very much aware that some of these NGOs are just cover agencies, covers, you know, they are not actually what they claim to be. They are cover agencies for, most of the intelligence organizations of the superpowers that are working with us. Because you find out that the USAID, as we're talking about right now, is a very big cover because of the United States. The structure itself is designed in this way. You have the US government, you have their foreign affairs, and then right in between, you have USAID. And that USAID is one that, most of the agents of the United States will be working through. Some of them come in as doctors, some of them come in as university lecturers or agriculturists or whatever. And then, of course, we will not know except when we properly investigate their movements and everything. Then we can find out that these guys are not actually here as doctors. They are busy maybe in the night trying to transmit information to their headquarters. So it is something that the CDS has set it up, and that is why the intelligence agencies have now put their searchlight on what is happening there.
So, on who does the fault lie? Who is to be held responsible for these lapses? I mean, it's taken a long time. It's taken years. Who should have ensured that their actions were regulated and we didn't have to get to this point where these strong allegations have had to be made before we're shining the spotlight? Following up with you, Mr. Amachree.
Okay. It is not a fault. It is not a fault. It's an international game that is played by every country. The international spies, and the internal spies. For instance, I tell you, all the embassies, all the people you see in the embassy, mostly are spies of different countries. Nigeria also played the game. We have NIA, the National Intelligence Agency, which operates from out of our embassies in foreign countries. Now, some of them, those ones are called legal residents. The legal residents are the ones that are permissible by Geneva Convention to operate in each other's country. That's after the Second World War. Normally, what do? They collect information about the country they are and send it to their country. Now, there are others who are in deep cover, and those ones are known as illegal residents. Illegal residents are the ones I'm telling you that comes in as Red Cross, NGOs, and stuff like that, and they work undercover. And then, of course, the same objective is there. And the one that the CDS has even right now discovered, was discussing, was the one of, intelligence agencies have observed that most of these Boko Haram people are carrying brand new arms and ammunition. Now, look at the people themselves. You find out that they are just ragtag soldiers or ragtag bandits, but they are carrying state-of-the-art weapons. Professor Bolaji Akinyemi had said it in his interview on another channel that these people, when they went to investigate the Boko Haram insurgency, the natives even told them that they have people flying in with helicopter in the night and dropping things and leaving. Whatever supplies that they are dropping, these are things of very, very serious importance. And of course, the security agencies are very much aware. But like I told you, it is not, we're blaming this one or we're not blaming this guy. The point is that it's a game that is being played internationally all over the world, and then of course, we happen to be playing our own with a terrorist group that is backed by a very serious, superpower. And that power has been with them for so long. That's why over 10 years now, 15 years, we've been fighting Boko Haram, But now I'm happy that the revelations are coming out. And these revelations are going to burst the bubble.
Thank you, Mr. Amachree. Now, back to you, Mr. Ejike Okpa. We just heard the revelations from a former deputy director of the DSS, and it seems the needle is moving towards, you know, this is real. Like he said, it's a game. Even close allies spy on themselves and do all sorts of things to promote national interest. We remember the USS Liberty incident where Israel bombed an American ship and killed American servicemen because they wanted to drag Egypt into the war. But away from that, the Nigerian Senate is currently holding some investigation. They're going to have meetings with the Intelligence High Command. If these investigations confirm this claim, okay, these things happen, we've seen this, how do you think this might affect our diplomatic relations with the United States going forward? Knowing the president in the White House now is one that doesn't like any sort of criticism.
You know, when I listened to what Mr. Amachree said and the gentleman, you know, the military man, I felt that I was getting entertained because there was no logic to what they were saying. You know, they're more like, you know, dancing off the issue. They have no logic in their thinking and no reasoning. Because here's what it is. You know, regardless of the Geneva Convention, nobody should come into your country and to violate you. If they do, then you are the weak one. And throughout this time, things were going on. Not the DSS or the military has ever gone to the American embassy. The legal attaches at the embassy, or you know, or the chief of the mission and said, "Here is our observations." I would challenge Mr. Amachree. As DSS either through the presidency when he was in office, said, hey, here are some observations. Can you please use your presidential power or the Minister of Foreign Affairs and write to the embassy? I can guarantee you they never did that. You listen to what the military man was saying. Somebody drove a truck. You saw the driver. The next day, the thing was empty. Was there a video evidence? So what is this intelligence when you are not even able to exercise common sense? Your home is Nigeria. Somebody comes into your living room, picks you to the boys' quarter, and you sit in there giving excuses. That's the shameful thing about the most populous black nation in the world, Nigerians, who say they are smart, but they are not acting smart. No, what you got to do, what you have to do is whether you have your own spies or they have their own spies. Anytime anybody comes into your country, the helicopter that was flown in, hey, it was into the Nigerian airspace. How were they able to fly? Did they fly from another country? Or because helicopter doesn't have a whole long, distance flight. So how did they get in and do that? So all I'm just saying is that the people that have the affairs of protecting Nigeria or being in the forefront or projecting an image from Nigeria, they have failed Nigeria. They offer excuses. They may have titles, but they really don't have the intelligence or the capacity to defend Nigeria where it matters. That's all I'm going to say today is America may be a superpower, but America is all just like every other nation. They project their image. Everybody else projects your image. Self-preservation is the first order of business. Anything else is playing to the gallery. And Mr. Amachree and the gentlemen have shown in what they have said, they play to the gallery. Excuse me, you may be offended by this, but you have not done your job because you cannot produce a letter that you guys wrote asking or questioning, who are these people? What are they doing in Nigeria? We have a suspicion they're doing something that is wrong. They haven't done it. Instead, They go away and say, oh, superpower, America this, America that. I live in America. I run for Congress.
I'd like Mr. Amachree to respond to this.
Thank you for allowing me to respond. Like you said, I was very much entertained by his response, the response of Ejike that we are playing to the gallery. It shows that he's very, very much ignorant of what international espionage is all about. I'm very surprised he's a global analyst, and of course, he should know what espionage is all about. You don't go and go to a foreign embassy to go and say, hey, Your people are, spying on us. So who are these people? No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't
No,
work
it does work that way. It does work that way. And I
Just to
will
interject,
challenge you on a
Mr.
personal
Ejike Okpa, please, you have your turn. Can you please allow Mr.
I will
Amachree
challenge
speak?
you on a personal
Mr.
debate
Ejike
when I come to
Okpa, Mr.
Nigeria.
Ejike Okpa, please, you had your time.
Oh,
Can you please allow Mr. Amachree speak?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No.
Okay, Mr.
Yeah,
Amachree.
it does not work that way. It does not work that way. In situations where a country is worried about, another country's activities, what they do is to invite the ambassador to their embassy. And we've done it so many times. Nigeria has invited the United States Embassy, Ambassador, UK, High Commissioner, any country, in fact, and then, of course, talk to them and then find out what is going on. But it's like, it's a cloak. That's why they call it cloak and dagger. It's a cloak and dagger business. It is not a fight that you go into the marketplace and start fighting that, oh, I'm a sovereign country, why are you here? The Geneva Convention is very, very clear on that after the Second World War, that countries are allowed to open diplomatic missions in foreign countries, in any other countries that are in, in good friendly situation with them. Even if the country is not in good friendly arrangement, they send in the illegal residents. We send in illegal residents, and those illegal residents will go there and do all kinds of things. It is not today that people come to know that the USAID has done a lot of atrocities all over the world.
So, Mr. Amachree, knowing this, why do we still, Mr. Amachree, knowing this, why do we still rely on security partnerships with the United States, the United States Africa Command? We share intelligence when it comes to, we're a major terrorism, anti-terrorism partner with the US. Even Nigeria military officers go for courses in the United States, knowing that, there might be tacit support from the United States for some of these terrorist organizations and also funding.
Very good question. Now you find out that the levels of relationship among countries are different. The levels of relationship, because I personally, when I was in service, I worked with the FBI. They would come for training in the United States. They come over and train us, and sometimes we know them. Those ones are not undercover. So there are different levels. And of course, you find out that your friendly country is your friendly country. And then there is nothing you can really go and say, oh, I don't want you to do this or that. The only thing you do is to block them. It's just like playing chess. You block so that they don't get their, objectives clear. Two things are at play here: national interest and influence. National interest and influence. They are seeking anything that will help their national interests. And in fact, in the case of America now, they are seeking influence. And Africa is the playground for that. Because right now, France and even the United States are losing out Africa because of what is happening in the Sahel. And then, of course, Russia and China are moving in. And these are the dynamics of international relations. And these people are there to play their game. So it is not that, oh, you are an enemy, or we know you are playing games with me. You are coming to Africa, you are coming to Niger Republic to collect uranium, which you are going to sell. And then, of course, our oil has been, the part-ups have been flowing, out overseas. They all have strategic importance. And these are the things people pursue.
All right, we are out of time for the conversation, but if you can both in 30 seconds each, I'll start with Mr. Ejike Okpa. Your thoughts as to what the next steps are, or what the next steps should be, And that question goes to the both of you. 30 seconds each, please.
You know, look, it's just never enough time to get into this stuff. But again, what I'm just saying is that I want Mr. Amachree to say, if any foreign agent has ever been expelled from Nigeria in the past since 1990, because if you recognize somebody is violating, nothing in the Geneva Convention that he keep referring to that he's not an expert on said you cannot expel them. Has Nigeria expelled any diplomat in the past 20-something years?
Yes,
Because they said your actions and your
have.
activities are violating us. That's important. You can't, if a relationship is that of a master servant, okay, then you're going to get dominated. The thing is talking about influence and all this. Every nation does that.
Okay.
But so what you want to do, if that relationship is not benefiting you, you are allowed to opt out, or you are allowed to define the new rules of engagement. So to sit there and just allow to be stepped on and abused just because you say USAID is doing this is a shame.
All right,
and
Mr. Ejike Okpa, 30 seconds is
a debate on a one-on-one when I come to Nigeria, and we do it publicly, and I can guarantee you he will be very sorry for himself.
Mr. Ejike Okpa, thank you very much for your contribution. Please, as quickly as you can, Mr. Amachree, 30 seconds.
I don't know who is saying that he's going to be sorry for whoself. I don't know.
You'll be on a debate on international relations.
Oh, we can debate it. As far as I know, you are very, very ignorant about the dynamics of espionage.
Thank you.
Okay, let's not get personal, please. Let's just wrap up the conversation. Mr. Amachree, final words, please.
Let me just say this. You know, every country pursues its own national interest. And the United States, AID has done their work all over the world. We know Nicaragua, you know, Panama, you know, and Peru. And we know all these things. And of course, the game is on now in Africa.
Right.
We are also playing the game. We went to Liberia in ECOMOG. You know, we were pursuing our own interest, but you know, we spent a lot of money there, but we know what we are gaining back. You know, it's all about interests and influence.
It is indeed about interest and influence, but we have to wrap up the conversation now. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.